Hi, welcome to Talking About. I'm John Griffith, and joining me via Skype is Tom Goss. Welcome, Tom.
Hey, thanks for having me. I love that opening song.
Thank you. Michael Doan wrote it for me.
Awesome.
So I'm always open to another one if you want to send me one, but I love it.
I could never top that song. I like that. Shh. That's so good to me.
Thank you. And I see you're on the road. Where are you right now?
I am in Nova Scotia on Cape Breton Island at the tippity top, which is almost as far away from the world that you could be. I'm an hour ahead of New York, even time-wise. So I'm like poked out into the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It's pretty amazing.
So you're coming to me from the future.
I am coming to you from the future. Absolutely.
So you're touring. You're going to be hitting New York in about a week.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be in New York on the 25th at the Duplex.
Okay, the Duplex. Okay, I haven't been there in a while, so I have to make sure to get to see you because that's such a nice venue.
So, yeah, well, let me know. I would be happy to put you on the list, and you come and we like have a really nice hug, and then I'll sing for you, and it'll be wonderful.
That's awesome. I always appreciate that. So, what album are you touring on right now? And I know you have another one coming out, don't you?
I do. So my last album that I released was 2016's What Doesn't Break. And so that would be the last album that I had, but I've had some singles since then. Last year I had this single called Click, a single called Have We Had Enough. So I've definitely released Gay Christmas. I released last Christmas too. So I've had a lot of new music. I always have new music coming out, but I've been in the process of writing and producing and recording a brand new record. So I'm really, really, really stoked about that.
Okay, and when people come to see you, you're going to be performing some of the material that's going to be on there?
Yeah, I've been performing a couple tracks, but a little sparingly because it's very, very different, and then they can't buy it. So, yeah, it's weird to play a show full of songs that people then can't bring home with them. So I try to keep that to a minimum.
Right, just a little taste and a little tease and all that good stuff. And well, you've been.
Yeah, it's such a. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's the time delay, and
I was gonna say my new record is like so different, but like really raw and really personal and really intimate. And I've been like just like toying with the idea live. I'm so sick of like the barriers between the performer and the artist. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I've been playing with is tricks to kind of like all of us to be in the same space and be sharing in the same energies and emotions. And I think that's starting to be really, really powerful. So I can't wait to figure out how to do that on a grander scale.
And well, with your abilities, I know that you can do it because you've been working in the industry for a few years now, and you've got quite a repertoire built up. Just the evolution of your career and your artistry. You've touched on a lot of your style has evolved in a certain degree, as most artists do. What do you think is the root of that? I mean, when you're putting together a project, where do you like it to come from? And what sort of where in your soul does it come from, and where are you at the given moment when it's coming to be?
Well, I think there's a couple questions there, and I mean I think there's a couple answers to that question. I think first and foremost, I'm an artist, right? And I don't want to make the same thing over and over and over and over again. So for me, I'm always going to be pushing myself, developing my craft, and seeing which areas that I can explore that are new and different to me. I don't want to just make the same record 10 times. It doesn't make any sense to me. But also for me, as I've developed over the years, and as I've, you got to understand, I have no training at this either. I kind of stumbled into this and just decided I was going to make a record because I played the guitar, and then I did that. And I'm not sure I knew anything about what being an artist meant. And so for me, as I've grown to understand what being an artist means, for me it means like complete vulnerability and authenticity. And so for me, I'm always changing as a person, the way that I see the world and the experiences that I have in the world. And so for me as a storyteller and as an artist, it's important for me to stay true to those experiences. And so as those experiences change, so does my storytelling of those experiences in the forums in which I use to tell those stories. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So essentially, you have the sound that comes from within you. It depends on the story that you want to tell, and but it's always identifiable back to you, which is wonderful. It's like, there's always,
Yeah, because for me, authenticity is key. Like, it's the key thing. I never want to be doing anything that doesn't have a huge piece of me in it, you know? So.
that makes sense, and that's sorry, my mind went to a different place with that, but my mind is very dirty today. So, but
That's okay. It happens.
But you had mentioned like your evolution as just being sort of a guy who played guitar, and you decided to record something, or did somebody kind of encourage you and say, "Hey, you've got this, and you should try and take this"?
No, no. That's a really interesting question. I just think I was naive to think that I could. I didn't have any support structure that had anything to do with music. I would just kind of play Dave Matthews songs to my friends,
Okay.
you know? And so for me, I think I was, I don't think I was a very wounded, very broken individual as a young adult and as a teenager as well. And so for me, I wrestled through college, and that became a really great physical outlet for me to kind of expel this physical aggression that I had. And then I started listening to music again, primarily Dave Matthews Band, and it was almost like a spiritual experience for me to go to these shows and to hear these songs and for having my heart and my soul moved by music. And I guess I was always really in awe of that, and so I wanted to tap into that. And and in my wrestling career, and of course the writing just was really me healing myself. It was like my therapy over and over again. And then I decided I was going to be a Catholic priest, and so I went to Catholic seminary. And by the time I left Catholic seminary, I really just wanted to do something fun and light. And for me, that was making a record. And I thought that would be fun and light, and then I could go on and do whatever I was supposed to be doing in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it turns out that so you've been at it long enough, so maybe this is a significant portion of what you're supposed to be doing with your life. Because
yeah, maybe it is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. It seems like, I mean, I've been doing this for like a dozen years now. So
yeah, but I mean, it's wonderful that you have your journey, and you're putting it into your art, and you're taking people along with you on that journey. And some of what hooks me with an artist is when, at least partially, we're mentally and emotionally in sync, and that's what really enthralls me with different artists at any particular time in my life. And the ones that I stick with are the ones who at least remain in sync with me and my spirit throughout their own evolution as well.
Yeah, and I love that, and I think that's, I mean, that's an extremely great compliment to hear. And that's always what I want to do. And I think, like, we as individuals, we as people, we kind of like float through this world feeling really isolated and alone in our human experience. And I think one of the reasons that music touches us is because artists are brave enough maybe to say, like, this is my vulnerability. And then they put it out to the world, and then they say, look at it, stare at it, explore it, do whatever you want with it. And in doing that, listeners, or if it's visual art, it's a different kind of process. They say, I share that same vulnerability, I'm not alone. And it's I feel like that's a really great honor, and I don't take that responsibility lightly.
That's good. And you mentioned the visual artistry, because visual art and music have come to go more hand in hand, and you've not only put out music videos. You've done some short film work, and you've done at least one full-length feature that I know of.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me, it's like quantity over. I almost said that backwards. It's quality over quantity, right? And so for me, it's always like, how can I make the most positive impact? And so for me, that's been pairing my songwriting storytelling with visual storytelling, and I've found that is really impactful to those who experience it.
Okay. And so with some of the video work, how does your inner process adapt when you're working on somebody else's project as to bring somebody else's vision to life?
You mean like as an actor?
Yeah. I don't know. I think I lost you for a second. Technical difficulties with live TV, and this is the way it goes.
Since I started telling this story, I've gotten so little unsolicited advice. So maybe it's working. But no, I wrote a song about it. It's called Wait.
You ready?
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Good.
Are you chilly?
No, it's actually kind of.
It's really hot in here. I like all the bears and they're like fanning themselves. It's really
Feel free to take your shirts off. I want two, 3, 4. I got a friend in West Virginia. Says I'm everything to him. Said my words that sound like scripture, whoa, whoa. And not the napkin bearing me. Says wait, you'll be on your way. Says away, just another day. You gotta write you that perfect song. Sell your soul, cash your check, move on. Soon I made it down to Georgia. Another bar, another night. Soundman said, you don't care. Whoa, the stars were always in his eyes. He says, wait, you'll be on your way. He says, away, just another day. You gotta write you that perfect song. Sell your soul, catch your check, and move on. To Los Angeles, pretty people, they stop and stare. Said I will sing again another time, whoa, whoa. A dime a dozen everywhere. Said away, you'll be on your way. Said away, just another day. You gotta write you that perfect song. Sell your soul, cash your check, and live on. Just another day, you gotta write you that perfect song. Sell your soul, cash your check, and move on.
Tom?
Hey!
Hey! Technical difficulties in live TV.
I know.
Thank goodness for clips.
I know. I saw you a Wait music video. So I hope that was fun.
Yeah, well, it was the one that I picked out because it's such a wonderful expression of you performing live. Before we got cut off, we were talking about bringing other people's visions to life, and when you're collaborating with other artists.
Oh. Yeah.
How is your?
Yeah. So for me, it's really about like sensitivity to subject matter. You know, when you asked the question, I guess I assumed you were talking about Out to Kill, the Rob Williams film I was in. And so for me, it's about trying to explore that character and who he is and his emotions and his interactions with people. And now that I see you playing the video with Matthew, the shirtless violinist, I see it in a whole another light, because it's and how I want to convey that. And it's interesting. I never met Matthew, so I met him 10 minutes before we're shooting this. And so we'd had interactions via email, but we hadn't really talked about how we were interacting on film until we show up in person. And in those moments, for me, it's all about the storytelling. For me, it's about, what is this story? What are we trying to convey? And how do we do that most effectively together? And there's been moments, and all of my videos are collaborations. I'm working with directors and cinematographers and makeup people and actors. And there's 10 people or 50 people or 100 people in every video. And I'm always interested in what's best for the project. One of my most popular videos, Breath and Sound, is a gorgeous video, gorgeous dance video. And I'm not even in it. We were editing this thing together, and I had all these clips of me in it, and we just were like, this makes the story worse. And so we literally just cut me out of my own video. And I'm willing to do whatever is necessary to tell the most effective story and to create the most emotional impact for the viewer or the listener.
Okay, that makes sense. And you had mentioned Out to Kill, which was I was talking very broadly before, but Out to Kill, I loved your performance in it, but I have very mixed feelings about the project in its entirety. I thought you were the best part of the film.
Okay.
And
thank you.
And that's kind of what I'm going to leave that at, because I think you were the best part of the film, and I don't want to disparage, because I'm sort of semi-connected to a lot of people who are involved in that, and I don't want to disparage anybody. But
look, Rob's a great friend of mine, and he's been in this business for a really long time. And the truth of the matter is, it's really fucking hard to make art.
Yep.
And it's really much easier to have an opinion about it. So more than anything, I love connecting with people that have dreams and have visions, and then put those dreams and visions out into the world. And I'm always really proud of Rob and the work that he does, and it was really wonderful to be a part of that experience.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, anybody who's putting themselves out there and taking that risk of, for lack of a better term, exposing themselves in that manner, because with your art, you're putting a piece of your spirit and your soul out there. It goes back to what I said about your music. Sometimes you're in sync with something, sometimes you're not. And I know a lot of people who really enjoyed that project, and that project just wasn't for me. Aside from, I saw your performance and I enjoyed your performance, but that was the highlight of it for me, and that's where I stand on it. I'm sorry, but
I'm taking it out of the up to you. I don't think it's
but so you're going to be in the New York area in about a week. How are you touring for the rest of the summer? How long is the tour going on?
Yes, I'm going to be touring off and on for the summer. I'm in New York next week on the 25th, and then I'm in New Hope on the 28th, and then I'm in DC a week later. Then I'm heading to the West Coast, and I've got some West Coast I haven't announced yet. I'm actually playing a gig in London, which I'm super stoked about, and then some Midwest stuff is going to be popping up in the fall too. But yeah, I'm going to be touring, and I'm also going to be finishing this record. I have a new single for this song called "Round in All the Right Places," which is a follow-up for Bears. It's really amazing, and it's my directorial debut in a music video, so I'm really excited about that. That should be dropping in about a month.
Okay.
So you should definitely keep an eye out for that. That's going to blow some people's minds. I'm so stoked about it. So that's probably what's coming next. After touring, that video, that single will drop, and then I'll do a little more touring, and then I'll really focus on this new record and the visual content that comes with it.
That's wonderful. I mean, the video is your directorial debut, you said, and like, how is directing yourself?
So it was nerve-wracking. Really, I didn't, I didn't know how it was going to be. And it's a video about my love and appreciation and admiration for plus-size men.
Okay.
And so for me, it was real hard. And I love the song. It's really exciting. People are really stoked about it when I've been playing it live. And I was really nervous about it. But the night before, as I was tightening up the shot list, I really realized that, like, all I got to do is shoot the things that have been in my head my whole life and capture beauty in the way that I see it. And when we get a really powerful experience. So it was wonderful directing 5 men in the video, and it was wonderful directing all them. It was a little harder directing myself because I shot all my stuff last, and we were already an hour over limit, and the studio was like, get out of here. So I had like 3 takes, and I've done this so long. I kind of know what I'm doing, and I kind of know how I look on camera. So looking back on it, there were definitely things that I wish that I would have had another half hour, 2 hours to tweak. But I think it's going to be great. I think people are going to really respond to it.
That's great. I can't wait to see it. And that's going to be dropping in August?
I am making no promises.
Okay. Tentatively.
I'm hoping it releases in August.
Okay. And, well, if people keep checking your website, which is what?
TomGossmusic.com.
And I'm sure you're going to have it posted there, and your tour dates and the album information when it's finalized and out there and ready for all of us to enjoy and play over and over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. And all my social media is Tom Goss Music. So if you love Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, it's all at Tom Goss Music. It's very easy to find.
Okay, that's wonderful. I mean, when we talk again the next time, what do you want to be able to say about what's gone on between now and then?
I'm gonna be really honest, and it's gonna sound like a hippie, but I want to say that I've changed the world. I want to say that the content that I've created has touched people and reached people and changed people. I want to say that the conversations that I've started have helped enrich people's lives and have helped people understand one another, and that's really what I want more than anything.
And just as talented as you are, and with as much as you've done, and with as much as you're capable of doing, I'm sure that you're going to be able to do that on whatever scale that you set your sights on. Because I admire what you do, and I believe that you can accomplish whatever you set out to.
Thank you.
And I do appreciate you taking the time to come in and Skype with me. At some point, we need to get ourselves in the same room. Probably when you're in town next week, I will come up and.
Do you mean we're gonna both sit in the car?
Absolutely. Well, front seat, back seat, we'll figure it all out. I don't think my fiance would appreciate it if we went for the back seat, but we'll keep it PG. We'll keep it PG. Okay, very good. Anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me, and best of luck, and I hope to see you in person real soon.
Sounds good. You guys have a great night, okay?
You too, and we're going to take another look at that music video right now. We're gonna run that, but thank you again, Tom, and I'll see you soon.
It would be unloving not to tell someone when salvation is at stake. We must tell the homosexuals the very same thing that I would say to you and you would say to me. It is possible to change. With God, all things are possible.
Billy was a preacher's son, and when his daddy would visit, he'd come along. And when they started talking, that's when Billy would take me walking. Out the back door we'd go walking. Then he'd look into my eyes. Lord knows it was my surprise. The only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only one who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Being good isn't always easy, no matter how hard I try. When he starts sweet talking to me, he kiss and tell me everything is alright. Kiss and tell me everything is alright. Can I get away tonight? The only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Ooh, how I remember that look in his eyes, stealing kisses from me on the slide, taking time to make time, telling me he's all mine, learning from each other's knowing. Look at it here, how much we're growing.